Hello, welcome to Heian Sandan. Okay, today we're going to work on everything Heian Sandan, break it down one step at a time. I'll go through full speed, full power, and I'll also do it a couple different directions, again to give you as a viewer better perspective, bird's eye view on things. So let's go ahead and before we get started, we're going to go through Seiza so we can all kind of get ready for class. So everybody come to Kyosuke. Seiza. Hakuso. Yame, Shomni, right? Oh. Kyosuke. Okay, good. So as we get started here, I will go through one time, facing forward towards you, full kata, and then we're gonna do it together, breaking everything down. Okay. So this is 7th Q to 6th Q. This should be for any blue belt to green belt in our system. Okay. Heian Sandan. And back to you. Okay, so that's all the way together, full speed, how that kind of would be put together. So let's go step at a time. We're going to break it down. And again, I try to cover as many little details as I kind of think of as we go through. And hopefully these are things you can work on at home. Okay, so I would say Heian Sandan is going to introduce us to Kibirachi, okay, so horse stance, and kind of learning how to shift our body weight and in that short amount of stance. So without having to transition from one stance to the other, say back or horse stance to front stance, where I get that really dynamic hip action. This is going to teach us a little bit about kind of some vibration, okay, in a small way. So just kind of thinking more about how to hit with the hips, with the center, and really beginning to think about like this kind of whip action to our body that we can use to put into our technique. So it's not all hands. Quick body, kind of jabs with the body. Okay, so we'll kind of go over that. So we'll start from Yoe. All right, so the first step is going to be, I'm going to do this mirror image. So your left is this direction. I'm going to try to follow along opposite way. So I will move to my right, you'll be moving to your left. Okay, so the first step is to your left, so I'm going to go this way to match you. Okay, so from here, from Yoe, we want to step into a back stance. Again, just like I talked about in Heian Nidan, we shouldn't have to move our stance, our center, a lot to get to back stance. So my center is already over my left leg, okay, which would be your right leg. Okay, so you just want to extend your lead leg the direction you're moving without having to move your whole body. Try to keep this kind of where it's at and just drop and extend that lead leg. Okay. And again, if we want to get some good power into our technique, this is where a little bit of hip action can come into play, okay? Because I don't have the big rotation from here to here, okay? But I do have this drop, and I do have a little bit of a whip I can give my inside block. So again, if I kind of think about that dropping action, not moving my center, but drop, and then throw this arm out, my inside block, from the hip. Okay, so don't think so much about hand. Think about as I drop, setting, and using this hips to kind of whip that hand out as I step into that back stance. So keeping the center and getting that drop and that whip into your inside block. Okay, make sure we got a nice strong hikite. Okay, from here, we want to step up. Okay, when I say up, I don't mean tall, but I'm going to step forward up to my front foot. Okay, I still want to have slight bend of my knees, and I want to try to drive, like if I'm going to turn from here up to my feet together, I want this belt to come driving forward. So I'm trying to take this here and shoot it forward this way. So I want to kind of step up from back stance here. Everything going forward. Okay, as I do that, I want my inside block hand, so your left hand inside block, is going to drop into a downward block as your left hand comes up. I'm sorry, I'm doing this opposite side. So this will be your left hand downward block, your right hand inside block. Okay, so from here, as we step up, again, trying to hit with the body, like hit with the body. That kind of feeling. Again, this one's going to turn into downward block, as this one comes up inside block, and drive those techniques in. Okay, use that body, hit with the body. Good, from here, ready, stepping up, first one, each. Good, keep, everything's moving this way. These can both be blocks or strikes. So don't necessarily be thinking block, don't necessarily be thinking strike. I like to think kind of both. One's blocking, one's striking. One's blocking, one's striking. Okay, and again, getting a little bit of that hip action is going to help you put some oomph behind your technique. So it's not just this. Get the body in there. Okay, so we came up, 1, 2, your left hand should be up, your right hand should be down. Good, from here, we're going to let that hand just cross underneath. As we rotate the opposite direction, back stance. Inside block, opposite direction, right hand inside block, left hand to the hip. Same feeling. Okay, now as we step up, hit with that body, right hand's going to drop to downward block, left hand's going to come up inside block. Ready, each. Good. Again, from here, just enough hip to help generate some power into your technique. So these are going to rotate. So from inside block, it's going to go to downward block. My downward block is going to come to inside. And they should cross one another on the way there. So my inside block hand comes on the outside, outside. My downward block hand passes on the inside. Okay, so that's a good drill right there. Just to learn how to get those moving properly and try to add those hips as we go. Okay, from here, we're going to turn out to the front, stepping into back stance, into reinforced block. So from here, your left hand should be down. Again, allow that one to set underneath. And I'm going to throw that again into a back stance, reinforced block. Okay, so again, letting that hip drive that technique forward. Okay, from here, we're going to step in, spear finger strike, just like Nidan. Okay, from here, I'm going to step forward around your front leg. So this should be your right leg. We want to come around that leg. So all I want to do is pivot in stance. Let my shoulder roll. Let this roll. As I do, my body pivots this direction. So from here to here, square, roll. Good, now I want to come around backwards behind this front leg. I'm going to pivot on this front foot and spin all the way around into a horse stance. into a hammerfish strike. Okay, so as I land there, I'm going backwards around my front leg and try to make that nice motion. So the more rotation you create through that spin, let that fall into your technique. Good. From here, 1, 2, and then we want to step in punch. So from here, from Kibarachi, hammerfish strike, we're going to step in and punch. So really just trying to drive off that back leg. What I don't want to see is this here. 1, 2. Okay, we want to try to get rid of those 2 steps in our kata, in our kihon, in our kumite. We want to get rid of those extra steps. So from here, just drive off the back leg and let the front leg pivot into my punch. Instead of 1, 2, just push, pivot and drive. Stepping in punch, ki-ai. Good, ki-ai on this left punch. Okay, from here, I'm going to face this direction, so this should have been your last punch. What I'm going to do is I'm going to turn. So from here, I want to come left leg is going to pull to my right. Again, try not to 2-step. 1, 2. Okay, we're working on that squeezing, that internal squeeze of the legs, working those muscles. So from here, I just want to pull my back leg to my front leg. Okay, my knees still bent. As I do, I pivot on my front leg. So as I'm getting that squeeze, same time, I'm pivoting. Just pulling to that center. And from here, from the punch, hands are going to draw to the hips. Knuckles to hip. Okay, from here, we're going to be moving forward. You should be moving towards the back wall at this point. Okay, I'm facing the direction you should be facing. So from here, we're going to pick up the right knee and think about trying to add some purpose to this technique. So when we just bring the knee up and then we turn and we put our elbow out there, like we want to get away from that thinking. We want to be thinking striking, or we want to be thinking blocking. Doing something, some purpose with that knee is going to give you intention into your next technique. So let that knee strike, or that knee kind of that crescent block kind of feeling, pull you into that next elbow strike. So I want you to be thinking 1, 2. Okay, so the right knee comes up. Try to keep the hips forward. And at the last seconds, I want the foot to pivot as my hips rotate and drop. Okay, again, let that knee drive up. As I'm moving forward, pivot, rotate, drop. Same time into this elbow. All this rotation dropping is exiting here. Okay, one more time. Everything's dropping here. Okay, elbow strike or block, whatever you might be. From here, we want back fist. So your right hand should come up over the top, back fist and down, not across. From elbow strike, over the top and back. Okay, from here, same drill. So opposite side this time. I would also add on that back fist. Again, get the hips in there if we can. 1, rotate. 2, drive. Really trying to focus, trying to learn at this level that vibration. Okay, this quick 1, 2, this quick snapping of our hip will lead to that nice, powerful back fist. Okay, so from there, same thing. From 1, we're going to come in left knee. Hands come back to the hips. Again, as I block or strike, whatever this one, pivot, drop into that elbow strike. So all the way through. Okay, again, landing nice horse stance. Knees are out, so nice deep stance. Elbow strike, same thing over the top. Back fist. Back to the hip. Okay, one more time. Right knee comes through center. 1, 2. Okay, last back fist strike. And 3. From here, allow your backhand to set for your punch. You're getting ready to step in and punch. So as your front hand begins to draw and press, your left hand should set for your punch. 1, 2. Good. From here, same as earlier. Try not to kind of 1-2 step it. So from here, we want to press, drive out that back leg step and punch, and go. Okay. From here, your back leg is going to step up in line with your front foot. When I say in line, I don't mean together. Okay, try to keep a maybe a shoulder width kind of stance as you come up. And as I come up, I start this rotation around this foot I just brought forward. So as my right foot steps forward, I'm going to quickly plant it and spin on that foot. Okay, and this is kind of why we've worked on some of these pivoting drills we do, is because from this position, we want that big pivot and drop feeling. So we want all that body moving together as opposed to 1, 2, 3, where the foot turns later, okay? Or the foot turns early and then I move. We want everything moving around this pivot point. So as soon as I step that up, pivot around that point, okay? I don't want to come up too high, but I still want a nice drop and connection to the floor as I come out of my rotation into my elbow strike punch. Okay, so I'll do it one time facing this way. As I step that back leg forward. 1. Here's my punch. I'm going to leave this hand out so it covers my center all the way around. As I set down, hook punch, pull to the hip. So this one's pulling to the hip, striking almost like an elbow strike behind you, as the right hand punches over the left shoulder, this direction. Okay, one more time. Here. Okay, so try to hit that nice deep connection on your, keep it out, just try to drop your center. Okay, final move from here. We're just kind of shift our center over. So all I'm doing is kind of pushing with my left over to my right. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Okay, so I want that shift to happen, but it's not so much my legs. I'm pushing that. I'm using the transfer of my feet, but it's mostly just to drive the hip. So don't worry so much about the legs. Just let it fire the hip. So when this pushes, the hip goes instead of the knee, the hip. Here. So one more time, I'm going to drive off that left leg. Quick whip of the hip, and into your last elbow strike hook punch. From here, last one, key, ready, go. Okay, my center is still here. I'm not leaning over one direction for 1 to 2. I finish center. Nice, good hips, center over your center. Okay. Okay, let's go from there. We're gonna do it one more time. Well, maybe 2. Let's go step at a time a little bit quicker. I'm gonna face the same direction as you. So we'll start facing the same direction. We'll go through step at a time. Then we'll go through one more time, same direction, about half speed. Okay. Ready? Heian Sandan. Good. Head locks. Setting for inside block. Stepping up. Downward block, inside block. Stop. Opposite direction. Sheep. Stepping in. Downward block, inside block. Go. Rope. Stepping left. Reinforced block in a back stance. Stepping in, spear finger strike, knee. Pivoting around the front leg, looking over your left shoulder, all the way around that front foot, into horse stance, hammer fish strike. From here, stepping in, punch ki, go. Okay, from here, squeezing the front leg, squeeze, pivot, From here, right knee up, right arm elbow strike. Back fist strike over the top, knee. Okay, opposite leg, knee comes up. Sitting down, elbow strike same side. Back fist strike. One more time, right leg. Knee. Okay, from here, pressing. Stepping in, lunge punch, kiai. I'm sorry, no kiai. From here, spinning over the front, stepping up, rotating. 1. Last one, kiai. 2. And that's your way. Okay, so that was step at a time. We'll do it one more time. If you like, pause these videos in between the step-by-step and break it down. And then do it with me with the one step at a time, but a little bit quicker. And then pause it, come back to it when you're ready to go about half speed, and we can kind of build up. Okay. We'll go half speed here. Heian Sandan. Okay, so there you have it, Heian Sandan. Hopefully I gave you some details to work on, hopefully a few, okay? So let me know when you've watched it, leave some comments. This should be again for Unit 2 classes should be watching this video. And good, hope you guys enjoyed it. That will round out Heian Sandan. Let's come to attention. Say ah. So, Oxiame, Shomani, right? Hey guys, see you next time.